cell phone bill. Got the most difficult part out of the way. Now, this is another video. This is another sex and dating self-improvement YouTube video. Now, I was trying to decide between this title and the other title. We can do the other title maybe later today or tomorrow. And this one's going to be called Sex and Dating Self-Improvement. Not to be seen, to be seen. Now, you might ask yourself, why would I name a title like that? Well, I'm going to name it that because there are a lot of men that are still angry and frustrated at the age of 18 to 29. And they want to know why they're not getting the attention that they want from women of that age group. Like, well, what I got to do to get you to pay attention and stop playing hard to get in all these mind games and shit tests, right? Now, I already made a part 1 and a part 2 of shit tests versus mind games, the difference in the similarities that women do. So we're not going to do a part 3 or a part 4 of that because it's been done to death. What we are going to do is talk about the frustration on the good and the bad of trying to seek attention and what it means to not get attention and what it means to get attention from women. Not just women, but men too. Now, I'm going to use some athletes as a prime example for this video. Now, we all know who LeBron James is, right? 3-time NBA champion. Has gone to almost as many NBA finals as Tom Brady has. Like, if you look at that decade, count how many times Tom Brady gone to the Super Bowl, win and loss, and count how many times LeBron James has gone to the NBA finals. And most LeBron James player haters, they love to bring up the facts he lost more than he actually won. You know, they never pay attention to the fact that he did win. They always go, well, he lost more than he won. To me, he lost some finals and he won some finals. Yeah, he lost more than he won, but he gone to the finals a lot. Now, LeBron James got what I like to call too much attention. And it started when he was in high school. And a lot of the sports analysts at that time said it is uncommon to give an athlete like that a lot of attention. And he had celebrities, athletes come to his high school games to watch him compete at a high competitive level. You get Kobe Bryant, Shaquille O'Neal, Grant Hill, Tracy McGrady, Vince Carter coming to your games. That's something that you're going to treasure for the rest of your life. Then you look at when Michael Jordan, his hero, his idol at the time, and that's who he was trying to really impress, was Michael Jordan. Now, Michael Jordan supported LeBron James in his tenure, but Michael was like, well, you okay, you're alright, you're not spectacular yet, you're not somebody to really sink my teeth into yet. And that's what started the little grudge between LeBron James and Michael Jordan. It all started when he was in high school, when he was at a high school basketball game and he dropped between 30 to 35 points, and he had these mad crossovers. He was blocking shots, slam dunking on people. He was doing all of that to impress Michael Jordan. And Michael Jordan kind of was like, I'm a 6-time NBA champion, 5-time NBA MVP, 6-time NBA Finals MVP, and I won 10 scoring titles, and I'm the great Michael Jordan, undefeated in the NBA Finals. You okay, you alright. And when you get told that by your hero, when you get told that by your idol, that can hurt your motivation. Like, trust me, it can. That's why Matt Cross from the 33 Secrets said in a YouTube video 7 years ago, it's not always a good thing to meet your heroes, to meet your idols, because they will ultimately disappoint you. And that was the case for LeBron James. He found out the hard way. Didn't learn his lesson until he got into the NBA. When he became the #1 pick in the NBA draft, selected by the Cleveland Cavaliers, again, he got way too much attention. And he was told by Paul Pierce, you get way too much attention than you deserve. It's going to be the reason why it's going to be hard for you to win a championship. And LeBron, not wanting to listen, found out the hard way. It took him almost 10 years to win an NBA championship. As if that's the only athlete that had that problem. Carmelo Anthony was right behind LeBron James. At number 2, Carmelo. Now, when people say how come Carmelo don't have no championship, it's obvious. The guy got the spotlight so quick at so young that that's a lot of responsibility to get propelled into the spotlight. Now, there's another athlete that should have gotten some of that attention and never got it. And that's Dwyane Wade. He was the number 3rd pick in the NBA draft, selected to the Miami Heat. And nobody really cared about Dwyane Wade. I mean, they said, okay, wow, he had a good high school career. He won a championship in college. Okay, fine. Very predictable. Nothing exciting. All the talk was all about LeBron James and all about Carmelo Anthony 10 years ago. And Dwyane Wade was out of that conversation. And Dwyane Wade was told by Pat Riley, sometimes it's okay not to be seen by the general public. I mean, Dwyane Wade didn't understand what Pat Riley meant in the beginning. It wasn't until he tried to take a basketball team to the NBA playoffs by himself with no center. And do you know who it got the attention of? Shaquille O'Neal. And he managed to win a championship less than 3 years later, while LeBron and Carmelo was getting all the attention. I mean, I'm just trying to tell you how it went. And it wasn't until Magic Johnson became LeBron James' biggest fan and supporter when he told LeBron, it's okay that you didn't win Rookie of the Year. This thing happens to athletes. You know, they had to calm LeBron down because LeBron couldn't believe he played a phenomenal rookie season and didn't win Rookie of the Year. Now let's get to another athlete that we know all too well. Russell Wilson. He gets into the NFL draft. Nobody pays him no attention. You know who gets all the attention? Colin Kaepernick, when he was drafted number 1 by the San Francisco 49ers. And they destined him to win championships. And they looked at Russell Wilson like he's quiet, he's nice. He ain't got no drive, no motivation, no killer instinct. And 3 NFL seasons later, he wins a championship and beats Peyton Manning in a Super Bowl. Turns around, go to a 2nd Super Bowl, and go up against another Super Bowl legend, Tom Brady. And had they not messed up on that last drive, Wilson would have had 2 championships 2 years in a row back to back. He would have done something that only a few athletes in his NFL career would have done. That's win back-to-back Super Bowls, less than 3 years. Now you might say, Alex, what is the point of you making a video called Sex and Dating, Self-Improvement, to not be seen is to be seen? What I'm saying is, if you look at the story of Russell Wilson and Dwyane Wade, there were guys that nobody cared about, nobody paid attention to, until these men won championship. All of a sudden they got all the attention from out of nowhere. And then you have athletes that people paid too much attention to, and it took those guys a while to win a championship. It took LeBron James 10 years to win his first NBA championship, and it should have never took that long. Maybe 5, maybe 7 years. It took him 10. Carmelo Anthony should have been won 2 or 3 NBA championships. And he ended up like the next Tracy McGrady, which is disappointing. Like, I actually was a fan of Carmelo Anthony. But when I look at his career, I go, you should have been won 2 or 3 championships. And now he ain't. Now he going his whole career ain't winning a title. You know how disappointing that is to be a fan of an athlete and to go, man, your whole career no title? What? And you know what it all stems from? Too much attention. Now, what if I told you that pickup artists and dating coaches don't tell you this information in their 2-hour, 3-hour, 4-hour pickup artist seminars? That they charge $300, $500, or even $3,000. And that is, as a man, when you try to seek attention from women from the age of 18 to 29, and it don't matter if it's black women, white women, Mexican women, Asian women or Indian women to a certain extent, 90% of the time, when you try to seek more attention than you deserve, you're already killing 90% of your opportunity with the girl, and you don't even realize it. It's happened to me like 8 to 9 times. You might even argue it's happened to me 10 times. Because when you're in high school or in college or at work, you get a lot of people telling you, how come you ain't got no girlfriend? How come you ain't taking women out to lunch and dinner? You know why? Because when you were in high school and college, you made this little habit of trying to seek attention when it's not, I don't want to say it's not called for or necessary. There's a thing called the right place but the wrong time, or it's the wrong time but the right place. Well, anyway, you'll always hear someone say it's the wrong year, the wrong day, the wrong time, the wrong place, where you try to seek attention. Now, what if I told you, if you try to get attention from a woman who don't find you physically, sexually attractive, she can sense and feel not masculine energy, she can sense feminine energy. And then guess what happens? It gets to the point where she now look at you like you're desperate, like you have a problem, because she don't want you coming on so strong and so powerful and forcing yourself to make her talk to you. Either she talks to you or she don't talk to you. And like I said, it happened to me a total of 8 to 9 times. You might argue 10 times. And you might get some smart aleck that might say, nah, probably 11 times. Now, let's talk about black men, because I've noticed a lot of people on YouTube make videos about black men, and they say one of our #1 problems and complaints is you always think somebody needs to validate you. Now, there's a lot of ways you can take that. Some might say that's very biased, which it is. I'm not going to sit here and lie to you. It's very biased. And you've been in high school, you've been in college, and a lot of times you feel like you're being excluded from the conversation. In reality, you are being excluded from the conversation. It's the fact that if you try to open your mouth and talk about it, then people go, why are you complaining? You know, why are you whining and complaining about someone not paying no attention to you? Like, and I'm going to tell you why most black men get angry and pissed off if they get 30 years old or they get 35 years old and it's almost 10 or 15 years later and people are bringing up, maybe if you didn't do this or maybe you didn't do that, maybe you would have got more attention than you deserve. Now, the problem is this. There's 3 groups of people that will pay attention to you. Only one of them is good for you, the other 2 is bad. The first group of people are called narcissistic people. They garner attention 7 days a week, 24 hours a day, 365 days a year. And they don't care who they have to get the attention from. They don't care if it's a man, a woman, young or old, black or white. They don't care if they have to start a fight or instigate a fight or spread rumors. As long as they get the attention, they're happy for it. Doesn't matter if the woman's a narcissistic or the man's a narcissistic. That's what the word narcissistic means. It means to seek attention no matter what. I don't care if it's good attention, bad attention, or a combination of the attention, of good or bad. I want attention. I don't care if I have to hurt someone to get the attention. I'm going to do whatever it takes to get the attention. And you will put all your time and energy into giving this person attention and then realize all the energy's been taken from you because you thought that once you gave that person some attention, there was supposed to be a payoff. Except for one problem, there's no payoff. And then everyone look at you like, why would you have given that person that energy and that attention in the first place? It ain't the person's fault, it's your fault. Because you should have known better. And then you'll say stuff like, nobody didn't tell me that this person was a narcissistic. And they'll say, well, you're smart enough, you should read between the lines, you should know that what you got yourself into. Again, you get all the blame. That's one group of people. The second group of people are called attention seekers. Now, they may not be narcissistic, but they are attention seekers. Meaning, as soon as you give them the attention, they're happy. They don't They don't want nothing. They just want you to just see them and hear them. And then when you try to talk to them later on, they look at you like there's something wrong with you. So group number 1 and group number 2 are alike. There are similarities, but there are some differences. Group number 1 just wants you to pay as much attention as you can, and then when you get in trouble, it's not their fault, it's your fault. Group number 2, once you give them the attention, they're happy, they go away, they don't come back. So that's the difference between group 1 and group 2. Group 1 will take all your energy and mess you up in the process. Group 2 won't necessarily take all of your energy and all your time. They'll take some of your energy, they'll take some of your time, but they'll go away once you give them what they want. And then there's group number 3. You gotta do something to earn my respect and my trust. You're gonna have to work for it. Now this group, however, is different from group number 1 and group number 2. They'll tell you, well, it's because you talk too much. Whenever somebody tell you something, they don't want you to go back and tell 5 or 10 other people their conversation. Now that's happened to me about 5 or 6 times, where I went back in high school or in college and told someone else a story and they didn't want it to get told. Usually that's the number 1 reason why most men don't get no type of attention from women. And then they often wonder why they get excluded from the conversation. Now, it takes you a while to come to the realization that it is you that's the problem, not everyone else. But I'm about to hit you with something else that no one talks about. You go through your whole life making the same mistake over and over and over again because no one is pulling you to the side and telling you what you've done wrong. Now, I'm going to tell you why I don't trust and like pickup artists and dating coaches of any kind whatsoever. Because they know this information for the past 15, 20 years. And at any given time they could have told you this in the 1980s, in the 1990s, in the early 2000s. And it ain't until 2010, 2011, 2012 that they're just now telling you, do not chase after any woman. Black women, white women, Latino women, Asian women, Indian women. You know why? They're just now telling you? Because it's gotten to the point where it gets on the news, it gets in the media. You know, a guy harasses a girl, the police comes out, and you wonder why you get arrested and go to jail. And then you wonder why you get hit with a sexual harassment charge. Because you keep trying to seek the attention from women that don't find you physically, sexually attractive. Now that's a very painful and a very hurtful reality. To wake up 7 days a week, 24 hours a day, 365 days a year, to realize nobody wants to pay no attention to me. You know, I go to work, nobody sees me. I come home, nobody sees me. I'm on the road, nobody sees me. But as soon as I try to introduce myself and try to strike up a conversation, it's I'm gonna call the police on you. It's I'm gonna get security on you. Leave me alone, stop bothering me. And the reality is you might have not done absolutely nothing wrong. But what they won't tell you, it's the energy that you get off 90% of the time that makes the woman go, oh no, you gotta get away from me before I take out the pepper spray. And when I said this happened to me about 8 to 9 times, and you might argue 10 to 11 times, I'm telling you from personal experience it happened to me. I know one friend that it happened to him 13 times. Because what I just said, nobody tells you in high school, in college, and at work, and at the gym, that there's this level of energy that you're putting out, and women can feel that energy. And when women can feel that energy, they know if it's good energy or bad energy. They know if it's rewarding or if it's endearing. That means when you put out masculine energy as a man, you don't need to tell a woman, I'm good looking. She'll know you're good looking. There are some guys that'll do everything. Buy new clothes, get new shoes, get the fresh shave, get the fresh haircut, and then wonder why no woman is paying attention. Because you're putting out all this effeminate energy to make her say, I want you to see me. And then nobody tells them that the more effeminate energy that you put out, the more people can feel and sense it. That means if one woman can sense that you're desperate, all women can sense that you're desperate. Black women, white women, Mexican women, Asian women, Indian women, young women, old women, a combination of the two. They all can sense your desperation a mile away. It's like taking you and throwing you into the Sahara Desert and you ain't had no water in 5 days. You're gonna be extremely borderline desperate / crazy because they left you out there. Now, what happens when a woman takes an interest in you, right? Now, I know you've heard this before. It happened to you in high school. It happened to you in college. It happened to you at work. It happened to you at the park, at the movie theater, at the gym. You meet a beautiful, attractive woman. You know, doesn't matter if it's a black woman, a white woman, a Mexican woman. You find her physically, sexually attractive. You like her. You want to ask her out to lunch and dinner or at least a cup of coffee. And this happens 99.99% happened to me. Like I told you, it happened to me a total of 8 to 9 times. You might argue 10 to 11 times. Whether you say it's because I'm an a-hole and I deserve it, I'm just trying to tell you. Even if you're not an a-hole, it happens to nice guys, good guys, and sometimes it happens to the bad boys and the players. Sometimes it happens to the bad boys and the players. The woman takes an interest in you, and then all of a sudden, from out of nowhere, it's 3 months later, it's 6 months later, it's 10 months later, you don't see or hear from the girl, period. And you get deeply concerned. Did she get hit by a bus? Did she get hit by a Mack truck? Did some aliens come down from the sky and kidnap her? Did Tarnos get the Infinity Gauntlet and snap? That's what you start assuming, right? And then the truth shock you that she didn't have the heart to tell you that you put out this powerful energy, this effeminate energy. She felt it. It made her felt uncomfortable, and you scared her off. And you might say, but I didn't do anything. I didn't touch her. I didn't say no crazy words, no gestures. And again, you don't have to do any of that. That's like a car accident, right? You don't even have to be the one to start the car accident, but yet you still ended up in the car accident. And guess what? She disappears. And then we make this, I swear to God, we make this mistake all the time and we're not aware of it until somebody tells us we're making the mistake. You try to seek the attention. You try to get an explanation. Mistake number 1, trying to get the explanation from the girl. Why you don't like me? Why you don't find me physically, sexually attractive? What did I do wrong? And then when she ignores you, mistake number 2 we make. You keep trying to get her to tell you what you done wrong because you believe you can fix it. Mistake number 3. Trying to fix it when she don't want you to fix it. To me and you, it doesn't make no sense. To most women, it makes logical sense. Don't try to fix it. You try to fix it, guess what happens? All right, I'm taking out my taser. All right, I'm taking out the pepper spray. All right, I'm calling the police. I told you to leave the situation alone. You don't want to leave the situation. Now the police got to tell you to stop. And then the police officer can feel that energy. The same effeminate energy that the woman can feel, the police officer can feel it. And then the police officer be like, no wonder why you're not getting no play. You're coming off too desperate. You're coming off too insecure. You're coming off more like a woman and not a man. And you might say, but she ghosted me. She disappeared on me for 3 months, for 7 months, for 10 months, for 2 years, and then give me no explanation. It happens. It's a part of life. It's like when you go to a job interview and they tell you at a job interview, don't call us, we'll call you. And you sit by the phone, and it happens to all of us. You be waiting. It's 3 months later, no phone call. 6 months later, 10 months later, no phone call. The minute they first interview you, the minute they first saw you face to face, eye to eye, they were no longer interested the minute they saw you. It took them but 30 to 60 seconds to make a decision whether you're worth their time or a waste of their time. Now, if you just take that same train of thought with the job interview, that's the same thing with a woman. It only takes a woman 30 to 60 seconds from the time she first meets you to decide if you're worth her time or a waste of her time. And about 80 to 85% of the time, unfortunately, we're a waste of her time. And you might be physically, sexually attractive. You might actually be a good-looking man, and she still might go, oh, I'm not interested. And it might be hard for you to understand because you thought that if you do the right stuff, that you might have gotten somewhere. So I'm trying to explain to you in this video what happens in life. Now, for the answers to the problem. The way that getting attention works is by not getting the attention. Now you might say, that don't make no sense. I'm going to say it again. The best way to get any attention from women is not even getting attention at all. You have to put your time and energy into some activities to make women notice you exist. Playing sports. I don't care if it's basketball, football, baseball, boxing, mixed martial arts. Please don't hurt no one. I don't want the police to come knock on my door and say, LAPD, Alexander Oden, come outside. Somebody saw your YouTube videos and they injured someone. Come here. So please don't do that. But play sports to take your mind off the fact that she ghosts you. Play sports. I don't care if it's basketball, football, baseball, soccer, boxing, mixed martial arts. I don't care if you ride a bicycle. Play sports. If you're not into sports, go to the gym and do fitness. You know, do cardio, do some weight training, lift some weights. Sports, go into the gym. Or do filmmaking. Do something where you can be seen by people, but you're not bothering anyone. And you know what's supposed to create? It's supposed to create a flow of energy that is natural energy. 100% natural energy. And it will create a halo effect that is so real that everyone can feel it. Man, woman, young or old, black or white. And nobody's going to feel that you're a threat to them. In fact, if you do filmmaking, guess what? A lot of people are going to pay attention to the fact that you love to do filmmaking. You could be a photo photographer, take pictures, go to the park, read books. That's how you fix the problem of I don't get no attention. I mean, think about it. When you see guys playing 3 games of basketball, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 games of pickup basketball for almost 4 hours, it is to keep themselves from getting out of trouble. Or go to the gym for 2 hours. It is designed to keep you from getting into trouble. And that's how you get people's attention, by doing activities. The guys who find activities to do get the most attention from women. The most attention and the most respect. And guess what? They don't come off as desperate. They don't come off as the internet like to say, you're so thirsty. And the woman can sense the level of masculine energy, and she'll be able to tell that you're a man and not a punk or not a woman. But when you keep trying to get a woman to like you, it comes off as desperation. Do you know what happens to men who go 10, 15, 20 years getting very little to no attention from women? They not only end up sexually frustrated, but when they do get attention from women, it's women that they don't find physically sexually attractive. Like fat women that are 200 pounds, 300 pounds, 400 pounds overweight. Women that are 50, 60, 70 years old. That's what happens if you end up going 10, 15, 20 years getting very little to no attention. You get women that you don't find physically sexually attractive because you kept making the same mistake over and over and over again. And it's not until a woman that's 50 or 60 or 70 years old got to explain to you, had you not made the same mistake in high school and college and at work, this wouldn't be happening to you. That's why I said in the beginning of the video, someone has to explain to you that you keep making the same mistake over and over and over again. You don't realize that's what you're doing. Now, when the woman disappears, she want to see if you're going to get desperate. She want to see if you're going to panic. Or are you going to get scared if I leave on you? And can you handle me not being there? And sometimes you might have to talk to other girls. Sometimes when you go to the gym, there might be a girl that see that you work out all the time. And then get curious, you must really like fitness. Now you have a girl at the gym paying attention to you. And you can't do this 2 to 3 times and then think it works. This is something you have to do for 6 months, a year, 2 years, 5 years. It has to be constant. You just can't do it 3 times and then say, there, now I want the girl. No, you have to keep doing it. And then when you get the woman's attention, do not try to ask for the phone number or Facebook unless she says, do you have a Facebook? Do you have a Twitter? Do you have an Instagram? Do you have Skype? The rule is she has to say it. If she don't say it, you don't do it. Because if you try to give her your Facebook, and I mean this, you give her your Facebook or your Instagram, it's just like giving a woman your cell phone number, and guess what's going to happen? You're going to create a cycle where it's going to be 3 months, 6 months, 10 months, 2 years, and she will never go on your Facebook and say hi. She'll never go on your DM and your Instagram and say hi. So the rule is you got to wait for her to say, do you got a Facebook? Do you got an Instagram? Do you got a Skype? You got to wait for her to say it. She don't say it, you don't give it. You give it to her, then what are you doing? You're not only breaking masculine frame, you're putting yourself back in the same situation that you was before with the other girl. And if one woman can sense that you're desperate, every woman can sense that you're desperate. Do you know what happens to guys when they get like 45 or 50 and it lasts for too long? They go to strip clubs, and what their number one complaint is to the stripper: nobody pays no attention to me. Nobody sees me. Nobody hears me. And you know what the stripper does? The stripper has that look on her face like, there's a reason why you're not getting no attention. There's a reason why you're 45 or 50 years old and women are not seeing you. Now, that's just giving you the answers to fixing the problem. So you can handle it by going to the gym, filmmaking, playing sports. And if you get that desperate, then I guess you could go to a strip club, but I prefer you don't do it. I prefer you make that your last option. Make that like you ain't got no choice to do that. So I prefer you try not to go to that level. Try to make sure you do what I suggest, because I'm giving you something that actually works. Unlike the pickup artists and the dating coaches, because what you got to understand is when a girl disappears after giving you the attention, she's trying to see how long will it take before you reach your breaking point. And if you chase after her, then you're doing exactly what she don't want you to do, which is to chase. And that's how you lose. If you don't chase the girl and you go, but she might talk to 7 other guys, I'm about to hit you with the obvious. Even if she talked to 7 guys, I don't care if it's 10, I don't care if it's 20 guys. If she do it, then that should be a good clue to you that may not be the right person for you. And if you talk to other women and she gets jealous, you shouldn't take it personal, because if she didn't want to talk to you in the first place or give you the time of day in the first place, then it doesn't matter, because that's just her reacting to you trying to find something else to do, and she didn't suspect that you would do it. Think about it. Every time you chase the girl, you just make things